welcome to another edition of Around the Ozarks Community Corner. I am Grace Gooley, and October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and there is a local initiative that you may not know about called iCare, and you should know about it if you don't. I am here with two very important people in that campaign from Harmony House, Quinlan and Carl. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I want to get started. Just tell me about iCare. Where did it start? What's the beginning? Where did it come from?
Yeah, so in short, iCare is a domestic violence awareness campaign. We do it each October because, like you said, it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it is a way that we partner with businesses, organizations, civic clubs, individuals, churches, schools, all sorts of different groups to provide materials to share information about the resources of Harmony House. Mm-hmm. So primarily it's an awareness campaign. There's also a fundraising component. But it's in its 11th year, so it's gotten a lot of traction. There's a lot of people that do it every single year. But every year we're always looking to expand it with more businesses, more groups. Mm-hmm. And it became sort of iconic with, may have seen like the eye black sticker, black eye sticker, single sticker. And I can tell you the story where that came from.
Yeah,
because I learned this not that long ago that there were two board members at a Harmony House board meeting, and they wore eye black to the meeting and did the whole meeting without bringing it up at all. And just wanted to see if anyone would mention anything, say if like what's with the sticker. And they're thinking of it in a way to say, symbolizing if somebody came to a meeting with a black eye or bruises or visibly shaken or something like that, would people have the courage to stand up and say, like, are you okay? Because really a lot of times with domestic violence, that's where the help really begins, just knowing that someone cares and knowing that the resources are out there. So no one mentioned it during the meeting. Yeah. And then they said, maybe we need to do something to undo the stigma, undo the taboo about asking about domestic violence, asking if someone's okay. Because really abusers count on people being unwilling to ask and say, just keep it underground. Yeah. And so from that, it grew from a one-day event with everyone wore eye black and shared photos on social media and stuff like that, and to all kinds of materials. And we get business leaders and community leaders to be on posters, and you'll see our signs all over town. It's a community-wide thing to say we're all standing with survivors of domestic violence, and that there's help out there if you need it also.
Yeah. That's awesome. What kind of impact have you seen through iCare over the past 11 years?
Definitely an increase in the use of our hotline calls. And so Southwest Missouri has some of the highest rates of domestic violence in the state, and as high as 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men experience DV in their lifetime. And think that iCare has been really critical in getting our hotline number out, and so that people can call. Every year during this time of year, there are people that call that say, I took my kid to get a haircut and I saw an iCare poster on the wall that said, if you need help, call this number. And then they called and they didn't know that Harmony House existed. And, from our point of view, we want everyone to know all about it. And sometimes we're like, how could people not know? But we live in this world all the time. And so, we have hotline tear-offs, and we want those in like every bathroom in Springfield and surrounding counties too, just for more people to do that. But recently, it was summer 2024, Harmony House grew over 100,000 hotline calls since we started the hotline in 1978, I think is when that began. And already this year, so it's October, and we're over 2,500 this year alone. Oh, wow. And it spikes some during iCare, but it's really all year long. And we're really grateful for what you guys do with Midwest Family. And just to have the blurb out there to say, you're not alone, call this number. And, this is happening around here. But that's the biggest impact, I think. People need to know that they can call.
I was just going to say that I think another impact of iCare is that it allows an opportunity for conversations to start inside of workplaces a lot too, because I think that whether you're in management or you're a coworker or regardless of where you're working, we try to give folks materials to start those conversations, because whether or not people are aware of it, chances are someone in your organization is experiencing it or being impacted by it. And so trying to just constantly break the stigma and break the silence so that these conversations can be happening more. So.
Yeah. I think where we live specifically, I don't think it's a lack of people caring, but I almost feel like you don't want to make someone feel awkward. Sure. I think that's definitely what people are fighting, because socially, like when you talk about the eye black, it's like you don't want to assume something and you don't want to make someone feel awkward, and that kind of overpowers actually helping somebody in some cases.
No, absolutely. And I think people make a lot of assumptions too, or think that because it's not directly impacting them that it's not their business or something. But the other reality too is that we try to communicate and educate the community on, domestic violence isn't just physical violence. Power and control has a lot of different forms. And so someone can be experiencing it in a way that's not visibly presenting. And so how can we be ahead of that and have conversations to create a safe space where people can reach out and get help?
What are some big goals for iCare this year, and really just moving forward? What are you wanting to see happen with iCare?
Expansion's the biggest thing. We're always looking for that to grow. Springfield, City of Springfield proper, has really, really great involvement in iCare. We're always looking to expand into in Christian County, Nixa, Ozark, Republic, just surrounding areas too. And we do have businesses that do that also. Shout out Macy Mitchell for letting us come speak at the chamber event this week. And it's something that we're the largest domestic violence shelter in the state, and we're also the only one in Greene County, Christian County. Closest nearby would be, there's one in Joplin, and there's Kansas City also. There was one in Ozark that had to shut down, unfortunately, but we don't want to have just resource sort of deserts in that sense, because a lot of what we do at Harmony House, everything that happens in our shelter, the services we offer are also available outside of our shelter too. And so our advocates can help someone leave an abuser and get the same case management and the court advocacy stuff and just the different things that we can help with without actually staying in our shelter too. And sometimes people are hesitant to call the hotline, say, I'm going through this sort of thing, but I'm worried that, when I call, I'm going to be whisked off to shelter and my whole life is going to flip around. Our advocates are amazing at taking their time to talk about your situation and make a safety plan that's right for you and your family. And if it's pets, if it's figuring out finances and stuff, if it's getting documents together, they can help with all that stuff without coming to the shelter too. And so just because you're sort of not in the Springfield area doesn't mean that we can't help. As a matter of fact, we serve clients from all over the country. Sometimes, our shelter director sort of makes like a map where she can pinpoint where everybody came from. It's pretty amazing.
That is cool.
Sometimes a change of scenery is needed too. Yeah. So we can help with that.
And kind of somewhat on an unrelated note, I love your guys' website because the fact that you can just click out of it, because a lot of people don't think about that in the sense that if you're trying to search for help and you are worried that there's going to be retaliation for that. The fact that if you are trying to figure out what Harmony House is doing and how you could get help, if you need to quickly exit out of the website, that is something that you guys have on your, and I just always thought that was really cool.
That is an amazing thing. Yeah. And to piggyback on that too, if making a phone call is not available, you can chat with our advocates at any time through our website also. That's awesome. And if businesses get involved in iCare and your manager, you care about what we do and you want to make sure your staff understands that you're a safe person to come to and talk about these things, not sure where to start, know some about domestic violence, want the ins and outs. We have an amazing prevention education team, and then pretty much any of our staff would love to talk to. You do a training at your office. We have different things available based on where the education level is with your group, and we find that really helps just to talk to the managers about it, just so they're more ready. Because sometimes there's a little hesitancy to say, I care about this, but I'm worried about the questions.
We've kind of touched on this a little bit, but what is just the flat out reason why awareness is so critical when it comes to domestic violence? Because
shelter is not the answer to ending domestic violence. The prevention, education, and awareness is going to be the only way to stop it. If we doubled the size of Harmony House tomorrow, we would fill up tomorrow. And unfortunately, it's a situation that the education needs to happen early and younger. The high school kids, as they start to form relationships and learning early what is okay and what's not, what are signs of things that are happening before. Just so more people know to leave a relationship before it gets so bad. Because violent relationships don't begin... obviously they start in maybe what seems like a healthy way. Maybe it's so perfect it's kind of weird that it is, and gradually it sort of permeates in, and it starts with, asking you about how you're dressing, or limiting your time that you get to hang out with your friends, or I don't like that guy friend of yours, you talk to him too much, and it just sort of starts to come in at all angles, and it's all involved to just control your behavior. And as they become more isolated and then lose the finance sort of stuff, or there's so many different ways that abusers will control their victims, and we want people to be on the lookout for that earlier. And so looking to expand prevention education. And the other side of iCare too is that it's critical to funding our mission throughout the year also. It raises around $150,000 a year, but it doesn't help. It's a totally grassroots, the whole community working together to raise money together. And so throughout the campaign, Quinlan does a great job of this. We share the fundraisers different iCare participants do. So comes to mind, Fazoli's is doing one where they give a portion of their sales and on a certain night, but they also run a campaign throughout the entire month. People do chili cook-offs. That's really popular. Derma Health does a raffle with all kinds of neat skincare stuff. And but it's really up to them. They say, how do we want to try to do some fundraising? And so like awareness primarily, and on the other hand, like funding, like critical funding for our mission to continue. And so, yeah.
And one of the tags on one of our billboards this year and posters is we all play a part. And so I think just remembering that this is really a community-wide effort, problem and solution. And so we, like we were talking about, I think awareness is a huge key in that, and having those conversations about healthy relationships and not disassociating yourself from a problem, but rather recognizing how this is a community problem and getting ahead of it, but also that ties directly into funding as well. And so, these are people in your community experiencing these things. And so how can we come alongside and support them? But people do come up with a lot of really creative ways to fundraise during iCare, and we're so grateful for that. I know Carl mentioned a few. We also have a company who's doing like a custom soap that's purple throughout the month of October, and proceeds go to Harmony House. And so there's just a lot of different ways that it's raising funds, but also awareness at the same time. So those things definitely are constantly in tandem.
Yeah. So anyone who's not a part of any of those businesses or anything like that, how can anybody just get involved with iCare if they have not been yet?
I would say check out either our website or our Facebook page, because that's where we're sharing. Like if you want to just find out where should I go to eat, this weekend that's going to support Harmony House, all that information will be on there. We share it every Monday in a generalized newsletter sort of thing too. But through our website, there's tons of information about just iCare in general, how to get started, what it looks like, who to contact if you want to talk about it some more. And we would love everyone to participate in iCare. There's a fee to participate, but if the fee is an issue, just come talk to us, because we want to get the word out, and if it's something that do a fundraiser also, we can figure that out.
Yeah, there are so many different ways to support and to come alongside Domestic Violence Awareness Month and iCare, whether that is financial support or if that's not what someone is in a place to do, that's totally okay. There's so many ways to still come alongside. For example, Thursday, October 16th is Purple Thursday. And so that's not specific to iCare or Harmony House. That's around the nation in terms of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, just kind of bringing attention to domestic violence. Purple is the color for that, and for Harmony House as well. And then another thing going on right now that people can participate in is we are in the final round of voting for this sort of like fundraising prize provided by Springfield Dentistry for Kids. And so people can go on our social media and vote every day until October 20th. We are eligible to receive up to $2,500. So that's a way to participate without giving, or you can sign up to volunteer. It doesn't have to be specifically during the month of October. There's a lot of ways to partner with Harmony House and provide support, and also just being committed to personally educating yourself and the community around you. Another way that we have prevention education efforts, our prevention program manager, Charity, she puts out a podcast every week called Voices Against Violence, and you can listen to that wherever you get podcasts, to kind of just, like I said, commit yourself to staying educated and to helping with the awareness component. So
which we do share that when they come out on Friday.
Say,
so if anyone is looking for it,
absolutely,
they are on our feed whenever.
Find it on ATO.
Yes. You can join the movement too. Everyone knows someone. If you want to find out more information, you can go to myharmonyhouse.org. And Carl and Quinlan, thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having
so much,
us.
Grace.